series of ways. Different about who can be involved, i.e., children now, removed, people that aren't propertied, removed, non-voters, removed, women, put into this sort of marginal position. So who could be involved? How it was conducted, completely changed, irrevocably changed, so that, it was now an orderly, rational, deliberate thing, not the slightly unruly communal thing that it was. And at the heart of that transformation I've been suggesting to you was the idea that the political subject, the subject of politics, should be an individual, not a community. And in a way, that's the most radical innovation. That's the thing that we all take for granted now, that when we vote, we're only voting on our own behalf. That's, I think, the most radical transformation. It is, as historians sometimes talk about, the triumph of a politics of opinion over that of influence. And what that does is basically reproduce the language of 19th century reformers that suggests that the old politics of influence becomes completely illegitimate. Okay? And of course, there are lots of dreadful, horrible things about what then became defined as corruption. But I'm suggesting to you that that older system, that older understanding of what politics was and who should be conducted, actually, in some ways, was a more participative political process. And then finally, what I've been trying to say to you again and again, and it's so boring that I always have to say this, but don't, even though I'm trying to emphasize things that change, don't forget that a whole lot of stuff stays the same at the same point, that there are always continuities that come out. These old traditions die hard. Thank you for your patience. It was a touch like the 5 hours of a William Gladstone. On Tuesday, I'm going to be talking to you about the complete restructuring of relations between men and women in the 19th century. I'm going to be talking to you about the experience of women in the second half of the 19th century. I forget what I'm going to be talking about on Thursday, but I'm sure it's going to be scintillating. Have a fantastic weekend.